Hey, warriors. Your mind wasn't supposed to feel this heavy. Somewhere between childhood and now, it became a storage unit for everything nobody else wanted to carry. Expectations that were never yours, standards you never agreed to, fears borrowed from people who were scared themselves, voices that keep talking even though they stopped making sense years ago. And the worst part? Most people walk around thinking this is just how it is. That mental chaos is the price of being alive. That peace is something you only get on vacation, or after retirement, or maybe never. But watch a child for 5 minutes. They're fully here, completely absorbed in what's right in front of them. They're not replaying yesterday or rehearsing tomorrow. They're just present, focused, clear. What happened between then and now? Life got loud, the world got faster, and nobody taught us how to filter the noise. So now there's a constant stream running through the mind. Worries about things that might never happen. Regrets about things that can't be changed. Comparisons to people living completely different lives. Judgments that aren't even based on reality. It's like trying to watch a movie while someone's flipping through every channel at once. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most of what's happening in the mind isn't actually thinking. It's just recycling. The same thoughts on repeat, the same loops, the same patterns, different day, same mental playlist. Real thinking is intentional, it's focused, it creates something. But toxic thoughts, they just consume, they drain energy without producing anything useful. They're mental junk food, filling but never nourishing. Marcus Aurelius wrote something powerful. Our life is what our thoughts make it, not our circumstances, not what happens to us. Our thoughts, which means if the thoughts are toxic, life feels toxic. If the thoughts are clear, life becomes clearer. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending problems don't exist. It's about recognizing that most suffering happens between the ears, not out in the world. The event happens once. But the mind? It'll replay that event 100 times, adding commentary, making it worse, turning a moment into a lifetime of pain. So, here's what's happening right now. This isn't another video telling people to just think positive or let it go, without showing how this is about the actual mechanics of clearing mental space. The real techniques that work when thoughts are spinning out of control at 2 in the morning. If this is landing, hit that like button. Share this with someone who's been stuck in their head lately. Subscribe to this channel because this community is learning to think clearly in a world designed to keep minds scattered and don't skip ahead. If you're ready to reclaim your mental space and take back control, write this powerful declaration in the comments right now. Clear mind, focused life. Number 1. The thought isn't the problem. The belief in it is. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think the goal is to stop having negative thoughts, to somehow achieve this perfect mental state where only good thoughts appear. That's not just unrealistic, it's impossible. The human brain produces thousands of thoughts per day. Some estimates say up to 60,000. Most of them, complete nonsense, random, meaningless, like mental static. Did anyone else think that sounded weird? Why did they look at me like that? What if everything falls apart? Maybe everyone secretly hates me. These thoughts just appear like pop-up ads in the mind. And here's the key. Having the thought doesn't mean anything. It's just a thought. It has exactly as much power as someone gives it. The problem starts when there's belief. When the thought shows up, and instead of letting it pass through, there's this moment of, oh no, this must be true. This must mean something about me. That's when the thought becomes toxic. That's when it starts poisoning everything. Think of it like this. Imagine standing by a river. Thoughts are like leaves floating by on the water. Some leaves are pretty, some are ugly, some are interesting, most are boring, but they're all just floating past. They keep moving unless someone reaches in and grabs one. That's belief. Reaching into the river, grabbing a leaf, and holding on to it. This leaf is mine now. This leaf defines me. This leaf is the truth about who I am. Meanwhile, 1,000 other leaves keep floating by, but they're invisible now because all the focus is on this one leaf, this one thought, this one story about being not enough or too much or broken or behind. Epictetus taught something radical. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And that includes thoughts. A thought happens, it appears, but the reaction to it, that's where freedom lives or dies. So, when a thought shows up, especially the harsh ones, the cruel ones, the catastrophic ones, there's a choice point, a split second, where it's possible to either grab onto it or let it pass. Most people don't even know that choice exists. They think thought appears, therefore thought is true, therefore thought must be analyzed and believed and acted upon, automatic, unconscious, exhausting. But once there's awareness of that choice point, everything changes. Oh, there's a thought saying, I'm a failure. Interesting. Is that actually true, or is that just fear talking? Is there evidence for this, or is this just an old pattern running on autopilot? That little bit of space, that pause between thought and belief, that's where freedom lives. Here's a practical way to practice this. When a toxic thought appears, instead of immediately believing it, just label it. That's a worry thought. That's a comparison thought. That's a fear thought. That's a shame spiral starting. Labeling creates distance. It reminds the mind, this is just one thought among thousands. It's not the absolute truth. It's not the final word. It's just a thought. And thoughts, when they're not fed with belief and attention and energy, they fade. They lose their grip. They become what they actually are. Temporary mental events that come and go like weather. Type this affirmation below and let it be your anchor when thoughts try to pull you under. Thoughts pass, I remain. Number 2, the mind follows where attention leads. There's a spotlight in the mind. Right now, it's pointed at something. Maybe it's these words. Maybe it's a worry lurking in the background. Maybe it's a memory that won't stop replaying. Whatever that spotlight touches becomes the entire world for that moment. Here's what most people don't realize. That spotlight. It can be moved, intentionally, on purpose. It doesn't just randomly land on things, though it feels that way when it's untrained. The mind is like a puppy. Left to its own devices, it'll chase every squirrel, bark at every shadow, and dig holes in places it shouldn't. But with training, with consistency, it learns where to focus and where not to waste energy. Toxic thoughts thrive in the dark corners where attention lingers too long. That embarrassing moment from 3 years ago. It only has power because the spotlight keeps returning to it. That worry about what might go wrong next month. It grows bigger every time attention feeds it. But here's the flip side. Whatever receives consistent attention grows stronger. Focus on problems, and problems multiply. Focus on gratitude, and suddenly there's more to be grateful for, not because reality changed, because perception shifted. The Stoics called this guarding the mind. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." He wasn't saying don't plan for the future, he was saying don't give attention to imaginary disasters that haven't happened and probably never will. So how does this actually work? How does someone move the spotlight when toxic thoughts feel so magnetic, so demanding, so impossible to ignore? Start small. Right now, wherever anyone is reading or listening to this, notice 5 things in the immediate surroundings. Actually see them. The color of a wall, the texture of fabric, the way light hits a surface, a sound in the background, the feeling of breath moving in and out. That's attention being redirected. That's the spotlight being moved from whatever mental loop was running to what's actually happening in this moment. And in this moment, right now, things are usually okay. Not perfect, but okay. The toxic thoughts live in past and future. Why did that happen? What if this goes wrong? They can't survive in the present moment because the present moment is just what is no story, no drama, just reality, plain and simple. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems. It means not giving attention to mental fiction. If there's a real problem that needs solving, attention should go there. But focused, clear attention that leads to action. Not the scattered, anxious attention that just spins in circles. Here's a practice that actually works. When the mind starts spiraling, ask one question: what needs my attention right now? Not in an hour, not tomorrow, right now. Usually the answer is simple: a task, a conversation, a meal, a breath, something real and present. And when attention goes there, fully, completely, the toxic thoughts lose their fuel. They're still there, maybe, but they're background noise instead of the main event. Number 3. Motion breaks mental stagnation. The body and mind aren't separate. They're connected in ways that run deeper than most people realize. When the body is stuck, stagnant, frozen, the mind follows. When the body moves, the mind shifts too. Ever notice how toxic thoughts get louder when sitting still, late at night, lying in bed, and suddenly the mind becomes a courtroom where every mistake is being prosecuted? Or sitting at a desk, staring at a screen, and the inner critic starts its daily performance review. But take a walk. Suddenly thoughts start flowing differently. They're less sticky, less intense. The rhythm of movement creates a rhythm in thinking. Problems that seemed impossible start having solutions. Emotions that felt permanent start shifting. This isn't coincidence, it's biology. Movement changes brain chemistry. It releases tension stored in muscles. It interrupts the feedback loops that keep toxic thoughts circling. When the body is in motion, the mind can't stay stuck in the same groove. The ancient Stoics knew this. They didn't just sit around thinking all day, they walked, they trained, they engaged physically with the world. Aristotle taught while walking. The Stoics practiced wrestling and physical discipline. They understood that philosophy without physical practice was just theory. Here's what this looks like in real life. When anxiety starts building, when thoughts start racing, when the mind feels like it's going to explode, move. Not aggressively, not frantically, just move. Stand up, stretch, walk to another room, step outside for 2 minutes. Do 10 jumping jacks, shake out the arms and legs, dance to one song, anything that gets the body out of its frozen state. Because here's what happens. The body sends signals to the brain. We're moving. We must not be in immediate danger. We can calm down now. It's like hitting a reset button on the nervous system. And it's not just about exercise. It's about breaking physical patterns that reinforce mental patterns. Someone always spirals while lying in bed. Don't try to think their way out while lying in bed. Get up. Change locations. Change positions. The mental pattern is tied to the physical pattern, and changing one helps change the other. There's also something powerful about using the body to express what the mind is holding. Feeling angry? Push against a wall with full force for 30 seconds. Feeling sad? Let the shoulders drop. Let the chest cave in. Really feel it physically. Then deliberately stand tall. Open the chest. Lift the head. The body position shifts the emotional state. This isn't about ignoring feelings. It's about not letting them trap the whole system in stagnation. Emotions want to move through. That's why they're called emotions. energy in motion. But when the body is still, emotions get stuck. They pool, they become toxic. Think about animals. When a deer escapes a predator, it doesn't just stop and go back to grazing. It shakes, literally trembles and shakes to release the stress hormones and trauma from its system. Then it goes back to grazing. Humans? Someone has a stressful experience and then sits at a desk for 8 hours, holding it all in, wondering why anxiety won't leave. The body never got to complete the stress cycle. The energy never got to move through. So, here's the practice. When toxic thoughts are taking over, ask the body what it needs. Does it need to stretch, to walk, to run, to shake, to breathe deeply, to cry, to laugh? And then let it. Give the body permission to move, to release, to express, not performing for anyone, not trying to look a certain way, just letting the physical system do what it naturally wants to do. Discharge stuck energy and return to balance. The mind will follow. It always does. Number 4. What enters the mind shapes what exits it. The mind is permeable. It absorbs. Everything that comes in leaves a residue, changes the chemistry, shifts the landscape. And most people are letting absolutely anything walk through the front door. Wake up, grab the phone, scroll through highlight reels of lives that aren't real, read about disasters happening across the world, absorb opinions from strangers who are angry about everything, listen to songs about heartbreak and betrayal, watch shows filled with violence and chaos, then wonder why the mind feels anxious, scattered and dark. It's not a mystery, it's input and output. Feed the mind poison, get poisoned thoughts. Feed it chaos, get chaotic thinking. Feed it comparison, get feelings of inadequacy. The mind doesn't have an automatic immune system that filters out toxicity. It takes in whatever it's exposed to and tries to make sense of it. And when it's constantly exposed to negativity, even if it's quiet, even if it feels harmless, that negativity becomes the default setting. Think about walking into a room that smells like smoke. At first, it's obvious and unpleasant, but stay there long enough, you stop noticing it. The nose adapts. The same thing happens to the mind. Constant exposure to toxic content becomes normal. Background noise, barely noticeable, but still there, still influencing mood, still shaping thoughts. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." He understood that what enters shapes what becomes. The mind isn't separate from what it consumes. It becomes what it consumes. So what does protecting mental input actually look like? It means becoming selective, intentional, almost ruthless about what gets access. Maybe that means not checking the phone first thing in the morning, starting the day with silence or music or movement instead of immediately downloading everyone else's chaos into a fresh mind. Maybe it means unfollowing accounts that spark envy or insecurity, even if they're popular, even if everyone else follows them. The mind doesn't need to see perfectly curated lives that make real life feel small. Maybe it means limiting news consumption. Staying informed is one thing. Refreshing feeds about every terrible thing happening everywhere is another. The mind was never designed to carry the weight of global suffering 24/7. It collapses under that load. Maybe it means being selective with conversations. Some people drain life. They complain endlessly, create drama, and pull others into their negativity. And while compassion matters, there's a difference between supporting someone and becoming a dumping ground for their emotional pollution. Maybe it means curating what plays in the background, the music, the podcasts, the shows. If it's filling your mental space with darkness, anger, or fear, even unconsciously, it's shaping your thoughts in those directions. This isn't about living in a bubble or pretending negativity doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that attention and mental space are limited resources. They're precious, and giving them away carelessly to whatever screams loudest turns the mind into a battleground instead of a sanctuary. The Stoics practiced this carefully. Seneca advised, "Avoid what corrupts the character, not just actions, influences." He understood that being around certain people, consuming certain content, exposing the mind to certain energies, inevitably shapes thinking and behavior. Here's a practical step. For 1 week, track what you consume. Every scroll session, every show, every conversation, every song. Then, at the end of the week, notice the patterns. How does the mind feel after each input? Lighter or heavier? Clearer or more confused? Energized or drained? Then make cuts. Quiet, clean, ruthless cuts. If something consistently leaves the mind worse than it found it, remove it, unfollow, unsubscribe, delete, walk away. No guilt, no apology. Protecting your mental health isn't rude, it's survival, and start adding better inputs. Things that inspire, that teach, that calm, that strengthen, books that expand you, music that lifts you, people who bring out the best in you, content that leaves the mind feeling more capable, not more broken. The mind will resist at first. It's used to the junk food, it's addicted to the drama, but feed it quality consistently and the cravings for toxicity fade. New patterns form, new defaults take shape. If you're committed to becoming the gatekeeper of your own mind, prove it by leaving this affirmation below: I protect what I consume. Number 5. Clarity comes from closing open loops. The mind keeps lists, invisible lists of unfinished business, things left unsaid, decisions not made, conflicts unresolved, projects half done, promises unkept, especially promises to oneself, and every single item on those lists takes up mental RAM. Like a computer with too many programs running in the background, the mind slows down, gets foggy, feels overwhelmed even when nothing urgent is happening, because there are 50 things quietly demanding attention underneath the surface. Toxic thoughts love open loops. They feed on them. That conversation that ended badly 3 months ago, still unresolved, so the mind keeps replaying it, trying different outcomes, creating imaginary versions of what should have been said, that decision that keeps getting postponed. The mind keeps circling back to it, weighing options, creating anxiety about choosing wrong. These open loops create mental clutter that makes focus impossible. It's like trying to watch a movie while someone keeps pausing it to remind about things that need doing. Can't be present, can't be clear, can't think straight, because the mind is juggling too much unfinished business. Epictetus taught about distinguishing between what's in our control and what isn't, but then actually following through on what is controllable, not just acknowledging it, acting on it, completing the loop. So what does closing loops actually look like? It starts with making the invisible visible, writing down everything that's creating mental noise, every unfinished task, every unmade decision, every unresolved situation. Getting it out of the head and onto paper where it can be seen clearly. Then comes the hard part, taking action or making a decision, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not perfect, because an imperfect decision that closes a loop creates more mental space than perfect indecision that leaves it open. That difficult conversation that's been avoided, schedule it, have it, close the loop. Even if it doesn't go perfectly, at least it's no longer hanging in mental limbo, creating anxiety every time that person's name comes up. That project that's been half finished for months, either commit to a deadline and finish it, or consciously decide to abandon it and stop feeling guilty. Both options close the loop. Leaving it in perpetual someday drains energy without creating anything. That apology that needs to be made? Make it that boundary that needs to be set. Set it. That thing that needs to be said? Say it. Each one closes a loop and frees up mental space. Sometimes closing a loop means accepting that something can't be resolved. A relationship that ended badly and the other person won't communicate. The loop can still be closed internally. I did what I could. This is beyond my control, now I'm letting it go. That's closure. Not perfect, but complete enough to stop the mental drain. The mind craves completion. It's wired to want resolution. That's why unfinished loops are so torturous. They go against the mind's natural desire for order and closure. But when loops get closed, even in small ways, there's an immediate sense of relief, lightness, clarity. Here's a practice. Every evening before sleep, close at least one small loop. Respond to that message. Put away that item that's been sitting out for days. Make that appointment. Complete that tiny task. Just one. Build the habit of completion instead of accumulation. And for the bigger loops, the ones that feel impossible to close, break them down. What's one small action that moves toward closure? Not the whole thing, just the next step. Then take it, then take the next one. Momentum builds, progress happens, loops close. The mental freedom that comes from this is profound. Suddenly there's space to think, to focus, to be present, because the background noise of 50 unfinished things demanding attention has quieted. The mind can finally rest. If you're done leaving things unfinished and ready to close those mental loops, declare it by commenting, "I finish what I start." Number 6. The stories being told create the reality being lived. Every single person is walking around with a narrator in their head, a voice telling stories about what everything means, what that look meant, what that situation says about the future, what that mistake reveals about character, what other people are thinking, what's possible and what isn't. And here's the thing, that narrator is making most of it up, not lying exactly, but interpreting, filling in gaps, creating meaning where there might not be any, turning neutral events into personal dramas, taking one data point and building an entire narrative around it. Someone doesn't text back. The narrator says, they're upset, they don't care anymore, this relationship is falling apart. Reality, maybe their phone died, maybe they're busy, maybe they forgot. But the story has already been written, believed, and reacted to. A project doesn't go perfectly. The narrator says, this is proof of inadequacy. Everyone's going to see this failure. This confirms what was always suspected, not good enough. Reality. It's one project, one outcome, one moment in thousands, but the story expands it into an identity. These stories, these narratives the mind creates, they shape everything, how situations are interpreted, how emotions are felt, what actions are taken or avoided, what becomes possible or impossible. The story being told becomes the life being lived. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." He knew that the mind doesn't experience reality directly. It experiences its interpretation of reality, and that interpretation is just a story. So, what happens when the stories being told are toxic? When the narrator is harsh, catastrophic, always assuming the worst? When every situation gets interpreted through a lens of fear or shame or inadequacy? Life becomes toxic, not because reality is toxic, but because the story about reality is toxic and the mind can't tell the difference. It responds to the story as if it's absolute truth. But here's the powerful part. If stories are being made up anyway, why not make up better ones? Not delusional stories that ignore reality, but fairer ones, more accurate ones. Stories that leave room for possibility instead of closing every door. Someone doesn't text back. News story. They'll respond when they can. This doesn't mean anything about how they feel. Neutral. Fair. Doesn't create unnecessary suffering. A project doesn't go perfectly. News story. This is feedback. This shows what to adjust. This is how learning happens. Constructive. Growth-oriented. Doesn't collapse an outcome into an identity. This isn't about forced positivity. It's about catching the stories being told and asking, is this the only way to interpret this? Is this story serving growth or feeding toxicity? Is this narrative based on facts or assumptions? Most toxic thoughts are built on stories filled with assumptions. Mind reading, they definitely think less of me now. Fortune telling, this is never going to work out. Labeling, I'm just broken. These aren't facts, they're narratives, and they can be questioned. The Stoic practice was to separate impression from judgment. Something happens. That's the impression, then comes the judgment. The story about what it means. And that's where freedom lives. In the space between what happened and the story being told about what happened. Here's how to practice this. When a toxic thought appears, write down the story it's telling. Then write down just the facts. What actually objectively happened without any interpretation. The difference is usually massive. Story. I'm a complete failure and everyone sees it. Facts. One project didn't meet expectations. Story. Nobody cares about me. Facts. 3 people didn't respond to messages today. Story. My life is falling apart. Facts. 3 difficult things happened this week. See the gap? The story is expansive, dramatic, absolute. The facts are specific, limited, manageable. And when attention shifts from story to facts, the emotional intensity drops, not because feelings are being denied, but because the narrative feeding them has been challenged. Then comes the choice. What story would be more fair, more accurate, more useful? Not a fantasy story, a better interpretation of the same facts. One project didn't meet expectations, which means there's room to learn and adjust for the next one. 3 people didn't respond today, which is normal. People get busy. It doesn't reflect their feelings about me. 3 difficult things happened this week, which is challenging. And also, I'm still here, still handling it, still moving forward. These aren't lies. They're just different stories, fairer ones. And when the